Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I start any broadcast by first of all giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed. And all praises, yes, indeed. I'm joined this afternoon by my most esteemed Akenanaya. Shabbat Shalom, Aki.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Maki. Shabbat Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High that He has allowed us to see yet another set apart day.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Another Sabbath Yom, set apart day of the Most High. And we're going to get directly into the script. Now, when we finished off last night, we saw that Shaul uh, had fallen and he basically took his own life. Him and his three sons and his armor bearer were all killed by the Philistines. And David was supposed to initially go out to the battle, which I expected him to switch it up and actually go against the Philistines, but they ended up not um, even making it out because they were attacked by um, some other fellows, including some Amalekites. The Amalekites have been a thorn in our side for such a long time, and it was some Amalekites, and what were those other people? Um, well, there was some Canaanites, if I remember correctly,
Let's see. I
and
believe it was Philistines, wasn't it?
no, it was the Philistines. You know, he's in the land of the Philistines, and I'm trying to remember, but yeah, he was first he was kind of eager to go. He wanted to go into the battle with the Philistines against the children of Israel, which I thought that he would have double crossed the Philistines to, for his own people.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I'm looking here.
But we're definitely in for a treat this evening. Because like where we left off of, it does in fact appear that Shaul commits suicide. But
Yeah.
we're gonna get better understanding this afternoon.
Okay. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So let's go ahead and get with it. Get to it, I should say. And this is the second book of Samuel, or Samuel, and chapter number 1 and verse number 1. David learns of Shaul's death. Yeah, I've wondered that because we did read that Shaul, you know, did take kill himself, and his armor bearer killed himself. Remember, he asked his armor bearer to do it, and
Uh huh.
he said he was afraid, and so he took his own sword and thrust himself through. And when he realized that that when his armor bearer realized that that was what had happened, that that's what it was, he killed himself, and apparently, well, as we read. So, but let's continue. Uh, verse 1. And it came to pass after the death of Shaul, when David was returned to the slaughter of the had returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came even to pass on the third day that behold, a man came out of the camp of Shaul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was when he came to David that he fell on the earth and did uh
Obstinance.
obstinence. Kind. I was thinking that obstinance, but I was like, I want to say obeisance,
Mm-hmm.
but obstinance. Okay, kind. Verse 3. And David said unto him, from where cometh you? Where you coming from? And he said unto him, out of the camp of Israel I am escaped. And David said unto him, how went how went the matter? I pray you, tell me. And he answered that the people had fled from the battle, and many other people also had are fallen and dead. And Shaul and Jonathan, his sons, are dead also. Yeah, I know that hurt David because we him and Jonathan was like,
Man.
whew, yeah, they was thick, man, and then I know that had to hurt. So verse 5. And David said unto the young man that told him, how knowest you that Shaul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man said, and the young man that told him said, as I happened, as I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, Gilboa, behold, Shaul leaned upon his spear. Shaul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots of the horsemen followed hard after him. And when he took, and when he looked beyond him, a slick eye, when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me, and I answered, here am I. Now, consider now. One thing I did leave out. Uh, they said that that he was hit with arrows
Uh-huh.
yesterday that we
Uh-huh.
read. So yeah, he was in dire straits. So the thing about an arrow, it doesn't like it's not like a bullet, but it's similar. So you get a lot of pain from it, but it doesn't just like take you unless it hit. I don't even know if it go through your heart. If it was, I mean, if it stopped your heart, indeed. But uh, I don't know if you know die real quick. So, but let's continue. Verse 8. And he said unto me, who are you? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. I'm Amalek. Verse 9. And he said, and he said unto me again, stand, I pray you, upon me. Stand, I pray you, upon me, and slay me. For uh,
Anguish.
for anguish, Salakia, I should have known that word. For anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelets that were on his arm, and have brought them hither to my master. Then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, and likewise the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even for Shaul and Jonathan his son, and for the people of Yahuwah and the house of Israel, because that because they were fallen by the sword.
God.
So this Amalekite is saying he's responsible for it.
Yeah, it was a mercy kill. You know what I mean? Like Shaul was in pain and anguish,
Mhm.
and he's telling this Amalekite, kill me. You know what I mean? And he goes ahead and puts him out of his misery. So he didn't.
S-
He tried to kill himself,
But
but
it
was
didn't.
unsuccessful.
Okay, kind. So when he came, okay, kind. So when he saw, so not only was he shot through with arrows, he had fallen on his own sword
Con.
and still was living.
Right, and,
And
and he was leaning upon his spirit.
kind, okay. So yeah, wow, that is a mercy killing.
Uh-huh.
But David not gonna appreciate that.
You already know why. You know him well.
Verse
And it
13.
seemed all good. It seemed all
Yeah,
good for a moment.
yeah, he kind of lamented for a minute. They like, oh man, they took it. But and that's the thing. I kind of felt like initially he would have double crossed the Philistines, but it looked like the Philistines was destined to get this thing, to get this victory, and they ended up um, they ended up basically taking out the whole leadership. You know, so Shaul and his three sons,
Mhm.
and even his armor bearer. So Yeah, because we read at the end yesterday. Whew, yeah, they did him so bad. Took his head
Yeah.
and yeah, put him up. And they went and took his body back. Like, whew, that was a hard read last night.
So
Uh,
hold on, Salakia.
mhm.
We read that they took Shaul's head.
Yeah, I believe so. Let's go back and just let's have a look. We at 13 right here, so remember that. Yeah, I think they took his head if I remember right.
Okay. So this Amalekite
Yeah, right here.
killed him, killed him before they took his head.
Yeah, before this happened. So see, First Sam 31 and 9,
Uh-huh.
and they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and set him in the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people.
Gone.
So yeah, that was the Philistines came and did that. But that was after he had put him out of his misery there. So
Mm-hmm.
and during that time, Shaul was fighting against the Amalekites. The Amalekites on the other side. So verse 13. And David said unto the young man that told him, whence cometh thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And Shaul said unto him, How was you not afraid to stretch out your hand and destroy Yahuwah's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died.
Gone. You know, I imagine when Dawid said, how were you not afraid to stretch forth your hand and touch the most high's anointed? I bet he took a big swallow, like a big gulp, like,
Right.
uh-oh.
Yeah,
You
like,
know?
oh, I'd have messed up. I'd have
Yeah.
messed up. Like, because not only did he do this, but now he's telling them about it. And I just imagine his face, David, he probably was like, his red face probably went pale.
Yeah, gone.
Went about pale, like, this is like, oh man. Verse 16. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, and your mouth had testified against you, saying, I have slain Yahuwah's anointed. So, and at the same time, I kind of get because, like I said, like I had been saying, Shaul really dug his own. He made his own place, and it was just a matter of time before he had to, get in it. And then remember what Samuel had told him. You gonna be with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, this time tomorrow, you gonna be with me. So, uh, Second Samuel chapter 1 and verse 17. Dawid dirges for Samuel and Jonathan. Now I had to look this word up. Dirges.
Yeah, I'm not familiar either.
Yeah, that's I believe it's let's see, a lamentation for the dead, especially one forming part of a funeral rite. So yeah, a mournful song, piece of music or poem. So yeah, it's basically a lament, dirge, dirge, dirge. That's an old English word, I'm sure. Verse 17. And David lamented with his lamentation for Shaul and over Jonathan his son. Also, he bade to teach the children of Yehuda to use the bow. Behold, it was written, is it written in the book of Yasher? So he also wanted them to learn how to use the bow
Mm-hmm.
because that's what basically that was the beginning of Shaul's demise. Taking those arrows. That's a hard thing. And it's ironic because when it takes me back because we know Esau, well before Esau, um, Ishmael was an archer,
Mm-hmm.
and it said he became an archer. This is after Abraham put him and his mother out, and uh, Esau was a cunning hunter, and he had his bow. Matter of fact, Isaac told him to go get the venison with the bow and his quiver, and that whole situation. So they were around, but apparently Israel wasn't dealing with them. But now he's like, look here, we got to get this on. So, verse 19, the beauty of Israel is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty fallen? How are the mighty fallen? I was wanting to put men in there, but somehow it wasn't there. Verse 20, tell it not in Goth, publish it not in the streets of Ascalon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. So now I think he's really understanding how how that was and him being over there with the Philistines. Now the Philistines then took out, a good
The
majority of
king, it was.
yeah,
I mean, he was pretty much the king. Shaul.
yeah, yeah. I mean, not just the king. Yeah, that was messed up too. That was the who the Most High put in the position. Also, his best buddy Jonathan.
Hmm.
Uh, but they've killed a lot of Israelites. In this, they basically took that battle.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They took that. I don't know if that's the end of the war, but I'm pretty sure that David is gonna have to go up against them head up. So let's continue. Verse 21: Ye mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offering, for there the shield of the mighty and valiant cast away, the shield of Shaul. So through he had not been anointed with oil, Slikah, as though he had not been anointed with oil. Yeah, because Samuel anointed him with oil.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what Dawood was holding on to. Verse 22, from the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned not back. The sword of Shaul returned not empty. Shaul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, and they were stronger than lions. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Shaul, whose clothes who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ointments of gold, so they got ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of battle? O Jonathan, you are slain in your high places. I am distressed for you, my brother Jonathan. Very, very pleasant has you been unto me. Thy love for me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished? Like how in the world this thing that went the way it have? My people have been put down.
Yep.
Shaul, who I was, you know, he should have been his right hand, just handling everything for him, and instead, Shaul labeled him as an enemy. And if he wouldn't have had if David would have been there, it's very likely Shaul would have been all right. But
Indeed, a good point.
yeah,
The battle definitely would have went the other way.
kind, yeah. But let's continue. 2 Samuel chapter 2 and verse number 1. David made king over Yehuda. And it came to pass after this, that David inquired of Yehuda, saying, Shall I go up unto any cities of Yehuda? And Yehuda said unto him, Go up. And David said, Whither shall I go up? And he said unto Hebron. Like, man, I wish to goodness, I wish to Yahuwah, I should say, that ask a question and get a clear, concise answer like that.
Con.
I mean, that would make things so much. Oh, I wish I could just should I do this? And yes, do this. Like, and I know that's what it is because I'd be like, no, that was me. That wasn't. I wasn't. That was me. He said, where should I go? And he's like, go to Hebron. Hebron. Like, man, that is beautiful. Verse 2. So Dawid went up thither, and his two wives also. Uh, I always mess up her name. And Hen Omah,
Ahinom.
Ahinom, the Jezreelite, and Abigail, uh, Nabal's wife, the Carmelite. Carmelite. Uh, Carmel was her father, not her father, but
That was the town where she came from.
okay, Karen, okay. I was like, I wanted that referring to something different, but okay, Karen. Verse 3. And he and his men that were with him did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Yehuda came, and there they anointed David king of the house of Yehuda. And they also, Salika, and they told David, saying that the men of Yezba Shalim,
Yabish Galid.
Yabish Gilead, Salakia, Yabish Gilead, were they that buried Shaul, were they that buried Shaul. So they're the ones that when he got his body and brought it
Uh-huh.
and planted him under the tree. Verse 5. And David sent messengers unto the men of Yabish Gilead, and said unto them, Blessed be you of Yahuwah, that you have shown this kindness to your master, even to Shaul, and have buried him. And now Yahuwah show kindness and truth unto you, and I also will require you this kindness, because you have done this thing. Sh- And I also will requite, Slicker, I said will requite you this kindness, because you have done this thing. So I'm sure requite means to pay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's almost like what is it? I
like repay.
forget. Yeah, almost like repay. Like yeah, indeed.
Let me see let's see what the Hebrew word for that.
I
Uh,
saw.
a saw, yeah, kind. To do. Okay. Yes, I also will do this, which makes sense. Also will do this kindness because you have done this, because you have done this thing. So, all right, verse 7. Therefore, now let your hands be strengthened and be you valiant, for your master Shaul is dead, and also the house of Yehuda have anointed me king over them. So I'm like, what was they even waiting for? But again, I think I mentioned this before that there had been this great rivalry between uh, the Benjamites at this time and
Uh-huh.
Shaul, or not Shaul, with Shaul and David and Yehuda. And at the end, at the time of Hamashiach, those were the ones that were in the land that were actually, holding fast to trying to keep things in order. Um, they were the last of it because the Northern Kingdom had gotten kicked out, so all of them were gone. But which means this was, and if you look at the representation, this was the daughters. I mean, these were the sons of the two sisters, Raquel and Leah.
Con.
Yeah, Benjamin, Raquel's youngest, and Yehuda, Leah's, or not. Like I said that wrong. Benjamin, Leah's
Nah, that was
Uh,
Benjamin was
Rachel,
Raquel's.
Raquel's youngest. That's why did I say that right the first round?
I think so.
Okay,
Uh,
Khan, Khan.
but Yehuda, he wasn't the youngest
He
of
wasn't the youngest, but he was
Leah's.
the fourth. Yeah,
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 Khan.
yeah. So, but it's ironic that those two, because we seen how Simeon and Yehuda had been tight, had remained tight over these times, even when they went into the land, and Yehuda was like, "Come with me, and I'll go with you,"
Mm-hmm.
and Simeon was like, "Let's do it." So, verse 8, uh, Ish Boher
Ishbosheth.
Mosheth made king over Israel. I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, okay. I don't recall that, but let's get into it. I see this down here. I'm not liking that. Let's verse 8. But Abner, son of Ner, captain of Shaul's host, took Ishbosheth, Ishbosheth, the son of Shaul, and brought him over to uh,
Mahanam.
Ma'anam. Okay, so I thought his sons were killed.
And still had one left. Well,
Wow.
possibly more that we just don't know of.
Okay. So maybe those were the three sons that were in, that was a part of his court in
Mm-hmm.
his army, and maybe this was some young man. Um, Let me see this here. Let's take a look at his name. Let's see what we can find out about him. Ishbuseth. 11 times. Man of shame. Surviving son of Shaul, king of Israel, for 7 years, while David was king over Yehuda, succeeded by David, who united the kingdom. Hmm. So they had a Benjamite over Israel.
Khan.
So it was Yehuda by itself, and then
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Okay, okay. Yeah, I don't recall this, but let's get to it. Uh, verse 9, and made him king over Gilead and over the Asherites and over Yazreel and over Ephraim and over Benjamin and over all of Israel. Ishbosheth, Shaul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and he reigned 2 years. But the house of Yehuda followed David, and the time of David was king in Hebron over the house of Yehuda was 7 years and 6 months. Now, ironically, this is so ironic because I honestly did not realize that this was the case. This is just wasting time, truthfully, because David, of course, united the kingdom and put us to prosperity. And rather than do that, there's this separation. I don't think it was too. I've never heard anybody mention this. Uh,
Yeah, it's gonna make more sense because you remember we talked about how Joab killed Abner, right? We
mhm.
talked this is it's kind of why. Like
Okay,
it's like a backstory on why. Like it's part of
okay,
the story.
okay, okay. Well, let's continue here. Civil War, Second Samuel chapter 2 and verse 12. And Abner, son of Ner, servant of Ishbosheth, son of Shaul, went out of Mahanaim to Gibeon, and Joab, son of Zerah, servant of David, went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon. And they sat down, and one on the one side of the pool, and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, "Let the young men now arise and play before us." And Joab said, Let them arise." Then there arose And Salika, then there arose and went over by number 12 of Benjamin, which pertained to Ishbosheth, the son of Shaul, the 12 and 12 of the servants of David. And they caught every one his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his side, so that he fell together. Wherefore that place was called Hel
Helkath Hazarim.
Helkath Hazarim, which is in Gibeah. So they just, it wasn't even a real confrontation. They just basically, yeah, just got him out the way. Field of swords. So that was it. Wow. No wonder I didn't. You don't really hear about it because it just like a little almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was it. Like okay, verse 17. Yeah, unless you read straight through it, you really don't. Because I've never heard anybody use this as a precept of any sort, to bring out anything to show make any point of anything of that nature. Because we definitely don't want to be showing us fighting ourselves.
Khan, exactly.
Yeah, that's not, that's not the highlight of who we are. So, verse 17, and then was a very, Salika, and there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Israel before the servants of David. And there was three sons of Z- Zuriah, Zuriah there, Jobab and
Abashay.
Abashe, and Azi,
Asahel.
Ashael. Yeah, I was about to mess that up. And Ashael was as light as a foot as a wild roe. Okay, I remember this part where he was
Uh-huh.
where they were going. Okay, verse 19. And Ashael pursued after Abner, and in going he turned not to the right hand or to the left from following Abner. And Abner looked behind him and said, "Are you Ashael?" And he said, "I am." And Abner said unto him, "Turn you aside to the right hand or to your left, and lay you hold on one of the young men, and take you his armor." But Asherel would not turn aside from following him. So Abner telling him, "Hey man, back up."
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really want smoke with you, but going about your business. I'm going about mine. You going about yours. Verse 22. And Abner said unto Ashiel, "Turn you aside from following me. Wherefore would I smite you to the ground? How would I? How how then should I hold up my face to Joab, your brother? Like how am I gonna deal with Joab if I gotta take you, put you down?"
Mm-hmm.
Verse 23. Howbeit he refused to turn aside. Wherefore Abner, with the hinder end of the spear, smote him in the fifth rib, that the spear came out behind him, and he fell there and died in the same place. And it came to pass that as many came to the place where Ashiel fell down and died, still stood. So Abner gave him a chance, and he didn't even try to kill him. He was trying to. Now, mind you, he was running like a whirlwind. They said he was a lighted foot as a wild roe. That's a deer, you
Khan.
know. So he's fast as I don't know what. So Abner's running and he's pursuing Abner. And Abner don't stop running. He turn around and they having this conversation running. And yeah, so Abner decide I'm just gonna poke him with the blunt part of my spear. not the sharp part, the blunt part. So he turns to poke him, and it goes straight out one side into out his back, and that was it for him, for Abner. So I don't know what well, that was it for Asriel, I should say.
Yeah,
But
con.
I don't know what Abner was thinking when he, you know, I don't know. I guess he just wanted to hurt him to stop him from pursuing him. But not hurt him, but stop him from pursuing him. But yeah, he ended up killing him. So verse 24, uh, Joab also and uh, Abishai. Say that again for me. Is that right?
Abishai, you got it right
Oh,
on the
okay.
head. Yep.
Khan, told I. uh, and Abishai pursued after Abner, and the sun went down, and they came to the hill of Ammah,
Mm-hmm.
Ammah, Ammah, at lieth before Giah. Is that right, Giah?
Guy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Khan. Hallelujah. By the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together after Abner, and came one troop, and stood at the top of the hill of an hill. Then Abner called to Joab and said, shall the sword devour forever?
Mm-hmm.
Knoweth you not that I will be bitterness in the lad's end? How long shall it be then, ere you bid the people return from following your brethren? Like, man, why we gotta kill? Why can't we just get along?
Right.
So Rodney King might have atmosphere.
Yeah.
Can't we just get along, man? We brothers, man.
We supposed to be brothers, man.
Right. Like yeah. Verse 27. And Abner said, as the Most High live, unless you have spoken surely, then in the morning the people have gone up every one from following his brother. So Joab blew the trumpet, or blew the shofar, and all the people stood still and pursued after Israel no more, neither fought they any more. And Abner and the men walked all the night through the plain, and passed over Jordan, and went through all uh, Berthron, and they came to Mahan Mahanaim.
Uh-huh.
And Joab returned from following Abner, and when he had gathered all the people together, uh, there lacked of Dawid's servants 19 men of Asherah.
19 men and Ashiel.
Oh, Salakia, 19 men and Asherah. Salakia.
So they
Verse
just lost 20 men.
20 men. That's not a bad, for a battle, but man, this is inner tribal fighting. This is not cool at
Con.
all. Verse 31. At no level so this is cool. But the servants of David had smitten of Benjamin and of Abner's men, so that 300 and 60 men died. So that's not a lot either, but that's too much.
Indeed.
That's like what a month of Chicago,
Yeah, 360. Nah, that's like
half a year almost.
yeah, con, exactly.
Yeah, because like what we say last year they did what 800, was it 800, close
Yeah,
to 800.
something like that.
Yeah, so it was close to about half a year, 380 or 60, 360. Verse 32. And they took up Azarel and buried him in the sepulchre of his father, which was in Bethlehem. And Jobab and his men went all night, and they came to Hebron at the break of day. So I know Yobab sore about his brother,
Indeed.
getting it, and uh, I mean, I feel bad for Abner because Abner was like, "Man, go on about your business." He gave him every opportunity, and then when he even defended, he didn't even try to hurt him. He used the not sharp part of the spear. If he wanted to kill him, he would have just you know speared him.
Eh,
But yeah, he
You
used
know,
like
it's
the.
like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's, we don't read about after Shaul is dead. We don't hear about these Benjamites coming to Dawid and trying to come together.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately try to keep Shaul's line going. And
Mm-hmm.
remember, Shaul once had encouraged his men, these Benjamites, saying, this son of Jesse, is he gonna show favor to you like I have? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's what should have been done rather than us going at each other's necks, man.
Exactly. Yeah. It's never reasonable for us to be in a situation where we're fighting one amongst each other. I mean, killing each other like this. I mean, this is such a bad look, and it's historical, and again, these things are for our learning.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this should not be the situation. It's one thing to quarrel, you know what I'm saying, and we shouldn't be quarreling,
Right.
but it's a difference in quarreling and killing. When you kill a man, that's it for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not coming back to another day. If you quarrel, you don't get along, I mean, you work that out as men, go on about your business, shake hands later, and let
Well,
that be what it is.
what someone should have been citing was, remember our father Abraham
Hmm.
and Lot, how
Hmm.
their cattlemen were feuding
Right.
and how they dealt with that situation. Like, look, man, let it be no strife between us.
Right.
Uh, you go
Kind.
this way, I go that way, man, so that we're not fighting each other.
Kind. That would have been ideal, and that's a good pull there, because that I didn't even think about that, but kind, yeah, you're exactly right on that one. That would have been right on time. So, all right, let's get to chapter 3 here. The house of David strengthened. Uh, Second Samuel chapter 3 and verse 1. So now there was a long war between the house of Shaul and the house of David. And David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Shaul waxed weaker and weaker. I mean, come on, why are you fighting if you steady loser and it's your own against your own brother?
Indeed.
Philistines right across the way.
And it caused it a long war, but we know that Ishbosheth's rule wasn't but 2 years.
Yeah. And I mean they played them on that. I mean, that was whew, that would have been fine if that had been the Philistines, but man, that you killing your own swordsman.
Right.
I mean, you stopping your own. It's just unsensible. It's completely unsensible. So verse 2. And unto David were sons born in Hebron, and his firstborn was Anon, Anon, Anon,
Uh, Abnon,
Abner of uh,
Ahinom.
Ahinom the Jezreelite. I never get her name right, but let's check out Abner here. It's the first time we seeing his name. I never get her name right. Man, I cannot. Them A's mess me up. Amnon, uh, faithful, the oldest son of David, rapist of tomorrow. Oh, that's who that was. That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
do. Wow, man, do you imagine? Oh my goodness, I can't imagine that. You find that you have a son, and then find out that he did something so heinous.
Yeah, I see it quite often. In my line of
Uh,
business,
yeah,
I've seen siblings having sex like it was normal. You know.
sick. That's sick. Whew. Now in that situation, what can you do? You got to put him down. I
Yeah.
mean, that's Torah. You can't take a man's wife. You can't force a woman and expect her father, her brother to do nothing. I mean, gosh. Um, and ironically, it was actually brought out that she didn't cry out. You know, they were in the
Con.
palace when
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
So people should have been rushing in there to help. So she didn't, she didn't cry out. She didn't cry, help, help, stop him, anything like that. So I don't know. That's strange. That's very strange. Uh, verse 3. I hope the feminists don't try to get me for that.
Right.
Verse 3. Uh, and his second son, uh, Chile, look like almost
Uh, Kiliab.
Kiliab. I said, look like almost Caleb, but surely not. Caleb meaning dog. Uh, of Abigail, the wife of Nabal. Why is just calling her the wife of Nabal? Because
Yeah, I
that's
wish
what she
they'd
was.
stop doing that. Well, not wish, but they need to stop doing that, man. Because this is now clearly this is Dawid's
His
wife.
wife. Yeah, that's like wow. The Carmelite. And the third, Absalom, the son of uh, Maacah, Maacah, the daughter of uh,
My God, yeah, you got that right too.
Maacah. All praises, hallelujah. You helping me out. I'm getting better here.
Con
The daughter of uh, Ta-
Ptolemy.
Tamay. Like I was gonna say Tamay, king of Gesher. So let's check out their names as well. Um, yeah, that's strange. They keep calling her the wife of another man, and she's clearly David's wife, David's wife, like his father, Kil, Kil,
Kilab.
Kilab, Kilab. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get that one phonetically either. Kilab, AWB, Kilab. Um, apparently from H3007, 3007, father Kilab, an Israelite. So like his father, so it's better than dog. Um, and then let's see what Absalom. I hope no one would name their son Absalom. I mean, that turns out to be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Ab-e-sol-lam. So my father is peace. I said it got to be something like peace. Um, yeah, he wanted went to seek his father's life. But if David wouldn't have dealt with Bathsheba, I wonder that would have even happened. If that spirit would have even came up on Absalom.
Hmm.
I know that's a what if, because part of his punishment that he said uh, this is what I'm gonna do to you, and I'm gonna raise it up evil
Yeah, con.
in your house.
And you right, you
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah. So I wonder if that even that even would have happened, but I didn't know Absalom was already here at this time. I didn't. Again, I haven't gotten this deep into Second Sam. So, but let's continue here. Verse 5 and the sixth, Ithrim, Ithrim,
Con.
uh, by
Ithrim.
Ithrim, uh, by Egal, David's wife. Those were born to David in Hebron. So,
Four
ironically,
wives.
yeah, Khan. But ironically, the first son, why was he not the king after David?
Well, because he got killed.
Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right. Because of what he did to his sister. Okay,
Hmm.
con. I forgot about that. Look, and that's the constant. It's never the first. It's always, on down. We thought it was going to be it with Reuben. Reuben. messed his way out of it by deciding to, defile his father's bed with his wife, with his concubine, and it's never the from father to the first son. Even with Shaul, uh, Shaul made king. You think it would go to Jonathan, his first son? No, they got killed before that could even happen.
Mm-hmm.
And here, same situation. Not the David's first son, but so yeah, kind. Second Samuel chapter 3, verse number 6. Abner joins. Look, I was going to say joins. Abner joins David, and it came to pass while there was war between the house of Shaul and the house of David, that Abner made himself strong in the house of Shaul. And Shaul had a concubine whose name was uh,
Rizpah.
Rizpah, the daughter of Elah,
I. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ayah, Ayah, I'll say Allah, Ayah, uh, the Ishbon here
And Ishbosheth.
and Ishbosheth said to Abner, wherefore have you gone into my father's concubine? Like, what you doing with my wife, my
Like,
father's
like what
concubine?
exactly? What you
Yeah.
can't be doing that, man.
Your father dead, buddy.
Right.
Your father dead. This woman is free. She's free of him. Verse 8. Then was Abner very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, am I a dog's head? And against Yehuda to show kindness this day to the house of Shaul your father, to his brethren, and to his friends. And have I not delivered you into the hand of David, that you may charge against me today with fault concerning this woman? So was he? I guess he wasn't even dealing with her. But if this is Shaul is dead. This woman is not his. He's dead.
Right.
So she's free. A woman is bound to a man as long as he live or she live. When one of them is dead, then she's free.
Right.
So there's no even need for this conversation. So he really just started something that he didn't need to start. He could have kept his mouth shut. Uh, and they already weaker and weaker. And Abner, the best thing they got going. Verse 9. So do the Most High to Abner, and more also, except as Yahuwah have sworn to David, even so I do to him, to translate the kingdom from the house of Shaul, and to set up the throne of David over Israel and over Yehuda, from Dan even to Bishan, Beersheba,
Mm-hmm.
Beersheba. I don't know where I got Bashan from, Beersheba. Verse 11. And he could not answer Abner a word again, because he feared him. He should fear Abner. Abner, a bad dude.
Right.
I mean, why would you even do that? That's completely out of line. That doesn't make sense at all. Uh, verse 12. And Abner sent messengers to Shaul on his behalf, saying, who is the land? Whose is the land? Saying also, make make you leave with me, and behold, my hand shall be with you, to bring about all Israel unto you. And he said, well, I will make a league with you, but one thing I require of you, that is, you shall not see my face, except except you first bring Michal,
Uh-huh.
Shaul's daughter, then you shall come and see my face. So he wanted that woman. He wanted his wife back.
Indeed.
That first wife. He want all the women. So Daweed, boy, he like, bring me my wife back. He took my wife from me. I want her back. You already got 4 wives. I mean, come on, man. Can't have it. That's just my goodness. So, verse 14, and David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Shaul's son, saying, "Deliver me my wife, Michal, which I espoused, which I espoused to me for 100 foreskins of the Philistines." It was 200.
Mm-hmm.
He paid him 200. He asked for 100. He brought him two.
All right.
Verse 15. And Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, even from what?
Yeah, I know. I
Oh
don't
my,
understand it.
oh my goodness. Oh man, that's no, that's a no no. That is a no 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 no. You gotta ask what she doing, where she at, who she with. Oh, she married to some other man? Forget it. That's a wrap for that then.
But you know, I don't think we ever read that Dawid goes into it. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, let's continue here. Wow, took her from her husband. Uh, let's check his name. Palat. Let's
Kill.
go. Son of Laish. Pio. Let's see.
It was a
Now,
Benamite.
Benya. Oh gracious. Patiel.
Mm-hmm.
Patiel. Uh, Most High delivers. He got a good name. The son of Azran, prince of the tribe of Issachar, appointed. No, that's not it. It's got to be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, son of Laish of Galim, to whom Shaul gave Michael in marriage after he made jealous jealousy had driven Dawid forth to as an outlaw.
And I want to say Laish and Kish were brothers, I believe.
Mm,
And Kish was the father of Shaul.
God, God, my goodness. That is okay. Let's see, verse 16. Yeah, surely he didn't. No, because that would have been mentioned. That would have been transgression.
Mm-hmm.
He took this man's wife and I mean, even taking her away though, even if you don't lay with her. I mean, you taking care of her as your wife, but you're not laying with her. But was this the one that gave him that wise counsel?
To get away?
Uh, yeah, was it her? No, it was the other one, wasn't it?
No, it was her. They
It was
told
her.
him,
Okay,
"My father seek to kill you, take your life."
con. Okay,
Yeah.
con. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. All right, verse verse 16. And her husband went with her along, weeping behind her to Basharim.
Uh-huh.
So he whipping behind her like, "Wait, you can't go, you can't go, you got
My
to stay."
baby.
Oh, gracious. Then said Abner unto him, "Go, return." And he returned. So Abner, man, Abner was the dude for real. Abner, like, "Hey, go home." And he went home.
Yeah, right.
You know what
Stopped
I'm
all that
saying?
crying. Let me get out of here.
You know what I'm saying? For real. Abner was that ox for real. And Abner had communication with the elders of Israel, saying, "You sought for David in times past to be king over you. Now then do it. Now then do it. For Yahuwah have spoken for David, saying, By the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel out of the hand of the Philistines and out of the hand of all of their enemies." And Abner also spake unto the ears of Benjamin. And Abner went also to speak unto the ears of David in Hebron all that uh, all that seemed good to Israel, and that seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David in Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. So one thing about David is this is ironic, not ironic, but this is something because you know he waits. He really waits. He just sits back, and it reminds me of some of these TV shows, how they'll the protagonist, he'll play it cool, and then when the time is right, he'll strike out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah, I'm thinking they got that from this book too, because that's what we see here with David. Even that man that was cussing him, after that battle with Abner,
Hmm.
not Abner, but um, his son.
Shimmy. That's his name, Shimmy. And I want to say Solomon tells him, don't come out of the city and you'll be safe. But the moment you come out of this city, you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, before when I remember when David was on his deathbed, he gave them a list. Look,
Hmm.
kill him.
Yep.
Get rid of his right hand man, his captain of his host. Get rid of him. Uh, get, get rid of all these people. Everybody who ever did wrong, get them all.
Yep.
I was like, dang, I didn't expect that from King David, King David. So, all right, verse 21. And Abner said to David, I will arise and go, and will gather all Israel unto my master the king, that they may make a league with you, and that they may reign Slikah, and that you may reign over all the heart, all that blah Slacky. Let me start that in the middle here. I'm right here. And that you may reign over all that your heart desires. And David said unto Abner, away, and he went in peace and shalom. Verse 22. And behold, the servant of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought and brought in a great spoil with them. And Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in Shalom. And Joab and all the hosts that was with him were come, and they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and have sent him away, and he is gone in Shalom. So Joab is sore with Abner because
Hmm.
his brother is dead, and they just antagonizing like this is man, this is us for real.
Indeed,
You
indeed,
know what I'm
I
saying?
can hear them. I can hear them saying this because
Mm,
Joab, I believe, was Daweed's nephew,
okay,
by his mother.
okay,
Um, and I can hear them saying like, "Man, uh, the king done let this man go, and he killed his nephew."
right, yeah, yeah, and Joab just looking like, yeah, well, I'm gonna get my hands on that Negro, and yeah, I'm not gonna let him go. I'm not
And
gonna let him go.
I might be wrong. They might. I know that they were related. I know that they're like at least
Yeah,
cousins
yeah, oh, yeah.
or
This
nephew
all you
uncle relationship.
kind. Yeah, this is all because uh yeah, but he was afraid of Joab too. Joab, that show you Joab at this time, Joab was the baddest one.
Hmm.
But I believe the servant that not the servant, but the one that Solomon had was it Benaiah?
I believe it was Benaiah.
Yeah, he was the cat of that time, that
Yeah,
next generation. So,
and he's the
but
one that dealt with Joab.
yeah, he the one took. But Joab was an old man at that time, though. I
Yeah.
mean, he was well aged. So, verse 24. And Joab came to the king and said, what have you done? Behold, Abner have come unto you. Why have you have not sent him away? Why have you sent him away and not quit Slick Slack? You got
Yeah,
uh,
I'm good. I just
Rockata.
flock you.
Okay, no sweat, no sweat. Uh, so why have you not? And he is not quite gone. Like, man, what you doing, man? What you bring? Your Abner was here, and you just let him go? Like, what's up with that? Like he owed me. I owe
Mm-hmm.
him. I should say I owe him. Verse 25. You know it's Abner, the son of Ner, that he came uh, to deceive you,
Uh-huh.
and to know your going out and coming in, and to know all that you do. Like you can't trust him. He's a Benjamin.
Uh-huh.
That's the house of Shaul. He not coming for what he say he is. Verse 26. Joab murders Abner. They kind of give it away in the headline, but
Yeah.
verse 26 should say Joab sees Abner or Joab meets Abner or something like that. And when Joab came out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of of Sirah, Sir,
Sirah. Yep.
Sirah. Okay, I had it right. But David knew it not. So he going behind David. This is part of the reason why David's told don't let
Remember his treachery.
yeah, don't let Joab get away. Let him get take care of him. And when was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him under the fifth rib, and he died for the blood of Asherel his brother. Come on, he killed him the same manner, under the fifth rib.
Yeah, we hear that quite often.
Yeah, because he killed Asherel in that same manner, because he went to hit him with with his spear, and it went straight through him. Uh, I don't think he meant to do that. Again, they would have used the sharp end, but he didn't use the sharp end. He used the blunt end. So he didn't. He wasn't trying to kill him. He was just trying to get him to stop him from following him. But you
I
know,
wonder how fast that man was running for that to happen.
well, it said he was light of foot as a wild roe. That's a deer.
Well,
So he had to be. I knew a cat when I was in elementary school. His name was Patrick, and this dude was ridiculously fast. I mean, I don't know what it was, but he was like he was just like this brother
Ashiel.
here. Yes, yeah, yeah, kind. That's yeah. I mean, he was just. I mean, he never made anything of it, but imagine Reggie Bush.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Verse 28. And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahuwah from forever, from the blood of Abner and the son of Ner. Slikah, from the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. Like we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Joab. Let it rest on the head of Joab and on all his father's house. He put- so if they is his nephew, he done cursed his whole father's house. And let it not fall from the house of Joab one that have an issue, or that is a leper, or that that leaneth on a staff, or that falleth on the sword, or that lack bread. So he excluded those ones, like not that's a leper, lean on a staff. So not the ones that basically can't fend for themselves. Verse 30. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, slew Abner because he had slain their brother Azrael at Gibeon in the battle. Verse 31. Now he got a more for Abner. Uh, 2 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 31. Did I lose you out?
No, I'm still out.
Oh, okay. All right. Verse 31. And David said unto Joab and to all the people, select, yeah, uh, David mourns for Abner. And David said unto Joab and to all the people that were with him, rent your clothes and gird you with sackcloth and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the Bur, B-I-E-R,
Buyer.
buyer, followed the buyer. Is that the buyer like instruction? Let's see.
I'm not sure.
Let's see what that is.
Mitar.
Mitzvah, mitzvah, couch, bed, buyer. Oh,
Okay, so like maybe that's where he did his morning in the bed.
oh, okay, okay. So it's a place to mourn. Okay, so makes sense. All right. Verse 32. And look, I would read that in context clues. I would think that would be like a follow the briar, like the instruction
Mm-hmm.
himself followed the briar. So okay, never mind. Verse 32. And they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. So it's like he's like got full control now. I mean, they mimicking everything he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 33. And the king lamented over Abner and said, died Abner as a fool died. Died Abner as a fool died. Died Abner as a fool died. Your hands were not bound, nor your feet put unto feathers, as a man falleth before wicked men. So fell as you, and all the people wept again over him. Like, why don't you protect yourself? Why do you know that Joab was gonna smite you?
Yeah.
You know, you killed his brother. You know he was coming. He wanted your head. Like, what was you doing? What was your hands wasn't tied, your feet wasn't bound. You should have protected yourself.
What is it? Is that see the Proverbs of Sirach, and it says not don't go with
An angry
angry with.
man.
Yeah,
hmm
indeed.
Yeah, that's Sirach.
Yeah, con.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and that's probably where they got it from, right here. What happened with Abner and Joab, man. Verse 35. And when all the people came to the cause, David to eat meat while it was yet while it was yet day, David swore, saying, so do the Most High to me, and more also, if I taste bread or aught else till the sun be down. So he gonna make it a fast till the sun go down. Verse 36. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them that whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. Yeah, I see that. They basically following his every move. Like what he do, they basically do. So if he not eating bread, I bet most of the people not eating bread.
And also like what this does, this solidifies his rulership. You know what I mean?
hmm
This brings the people in because
Yeah,
these people were at war. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a good thing. I'm not, I'm not criticizing it, but yeah, you can see how it's really coming together. And that's why I say when you talk about the height of Israel, it was under the rulership of Dawid because he had unified the kingdom. Went from warring with the line of Saul or Shaul, the king before him, to basically putting unity right there. So verse 37. For all the people and all of Israel stood that day that it was not of the king to slay Abner, the son of Ner. And the king said unto his servant, know you that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day for Israel? And so that's another thing. That's the thing that Joab was not looking at. He's looking at Abner as the man who killed his brother,
Right.
but this is a man of your own people who happened to accidentally kill your brother. He should have gone to the safe place um, that was set up at the time of Moshe. But there was this war. He was making a trying to bring peace, and he brought it. Basically, he brought it. He orchestrated it on his side.
Con.
Even in the face of Shaul's last son. So, verse 39. Am I this day weak through though anointed king and their men Slikai, and these men, the sons of Zuriah, be too hard for me. Yahuwah shall reward the doers of evil according to his wickedness. So he just cursed Abner again. He just cursed Abner. He just cursed
Yoel.
Joab again. So not only did he curse the house of Joab, I gotta turn this light on. This one got dark.
Yeah,
Hold on,
con.
hold on one second. Is it dark over there?
Yeah, yeah.
No, hold on one second. All right, all right. So yeah, Joab didn't realize how bad he messed up, but he was also kind of out of control because he was I'm not gonna say a wildcat, but there's that time he told Dawid, if you don't come and get this, claim this, I'm gonna put my name on it. Talking about this city. Uh, I forget where it was at, but we'll get to it here
Mm-hmm.
in the coming weeks. So, want to pick up chapter 4 and 5? Right?
Indeed, Aki.
Told I, bye.
It's the book of Second Samuel, Second Shemuel, chapter 4. Ishbosheth murdered,
Mm.
verse 1. And when Shaul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble, and all the Israelites were troubled. And Shaul's son had two men that were captains of bands. The name of one was Baanah, and the name of the other Rechab, the sons of Ramon, a Beerothite of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth also was reckoned to Benjamin. And the
You-
Beerorites
oh,
fled to. Oh, you want to check
like,
those out?
yeah, I was gonna say we need to look at these ones because I think this is new information here.
Yeah, con.
Okay, captains of the bands. Let's see that Biran, Bir
Baanah.
Barana, uh, an affliction, head of the family of the Zerubites. Yeah, that's what we saw. Chief of the people. All right, let's continue. Uh, Rechab, Rechab, Ryder, father of one of the two captains, hmm, who conspired to murder him. Uh, see Rechab, Ryder, descendant of Recap, Recap. All right, and okay, we need to look at this. Look at Bill Roth. We familiar? Have we seen that before?
I believe
Yeah,
we
we have.
have.
We
Yeah.
have. Yeah, we have. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Verse.
All right. Verse 3. And the Beerothites fled to Gatam and were sojourners there unto this day. I don't think we've seen Gatam.
Good time. Okay. Let's check this out.
Gitaim.
Good time. Yeah. Two wine presses. A place in Yehuda, sight unknown. Yeah. Well, we saw that actually in Samuel.
Okay, con.
In chapter 4. Well, no, that's what we are now, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
we in
yeah.
chapter 4. I'm tripping. All right. Let's continue.
All right, verse 4. And Jonathan, Shaul's son, had a son that was lame of his feet. He was 5 years old when the tidings came to Shaul and Jonathan out of Yezreel. And his nurse took him up and fled. And it came to pass, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame, and his name was Mephibosheth.
Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth.
Mephibosheth.
Yeah, kind of. He be nailing it out. Told everybody.
All praises.
Praise God, indeed. Uh, examining the idol.
Exterminating.
Oh, exterminating the idol. Okay, I was gonna say Slika. I be chopping those words up so bad. Son of Jonathan, grandson of Shaul. I didn't know Jonathan had a son. You see that? Okay, so I guess this destroying or this is exterminating
Mm-hmm.
that mirrors. I saw that, evil on the end. And yeah, that makes sense. All right. Um, let's continue.
All right. Verse 5. And the sons of Ramon, the Beerothite, Rechab, and Baanah went and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who lay on the bed at noon. And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. And they smote him under the fifth rib. And Rechab and Baanah, his brother, escaped.
Okay, so that's got to be something that you would learn in like the military portion or battle. That's got to be something like get them under the fifth rib and they'll die. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even find the fifth rib? Like, you got to feel for it, or you just see it. I guess you see it if if their physique is right. I guess, but strange. Yeah, that's the third time we've seen that in this reading here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Verse 7. For when they came into the house, he lay on his bed in his bedchamber, and they smote him, and slew him, and beheaded him,
Mm.
and took his head, and gat them away through the plain all night. Verse 8. Oslaki.
This is their own people that they're doing this to. This is not the uh these Mizrites. It's not these Philistines is what I'm trying to say. This is their own people they doing this to. They
Here
beheading their
come.
own people. I mean, come on, man. All right, let's
All
continue.
right. Verse 8. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto Dawid to Hebron, and said to the king, Behold, the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Shaul, thine enemy, which sought thy life. And Yahweh hath avenged my master, the king, this day of Shaul and of his seed. And Dawid answered Rechab and Baanah his brother, the sons of Ramon, the Beerothites, and said unto them, As Yahweh liveth, who hath redeemed my soul out of all adversity, when one told me, saying, Behold, Shaul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Zilgad, who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings. How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand and take you away from the earth?
Hmm.
And Dawid commanded his young men, and they slew them, and cut off their hands and their feet, and hanged them up over the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron.
I mean, they nobody's thinking. They just doing this crazy stuff.
Right?
Like, and then they go to the king. Like he gonna be like, "Oh, good job.
Right.
I could have been had that done if that's what I wanted done." What the heck is wrong with y'all?
Earl.
Like, y'all bugging out, man. And now your hands and your feet cut off. And I don't know, that makes a mess. So I don't. They just making wherever they was at was really unclean because that's a lot of blood dripping out that body when you take off their hands and their feet.
Mm.
That's not a I mean that's a yeah. You slit your wrist, it bleeds like you bleed to death
Right.
by slitting your wrist. So you take off both your hands. You take off somebody's both of somebody's hands and both of their feet. That's a whole lot of blood coming out. So that blood gonna be everywhere. But that takes me to the Torah, the land blood defileth the land, and it can only be cleansed by the blood of him that shed it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah, God.
I know I'm chopping it up, but yeah. So I guess that's why he cut off his hands and his feet to get their blood in the land to cleanse it. It can only be cleansed by him that spill it. So you done defiled the land with Shaul's son's blood. So now your blood got to cleanse this land. So all right, let's continue. Verse chapter 5 here.
God. This is the second book of Samuel, chapter 5. Dawid, king over all Israel. Verse 1. Then came all the tribes of Israel to Dawid unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh. Also, in time past, when Shaul was king over us, thou wast he that leadest out and brought us in Israel. And Yahweh said to thee, Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel. So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King Dawid made a league with them in Hebron before Yahweh, and they anointed Dawid king over Israel. Dawid was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years.
Wow. So he ran till he was 70.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
mhm. Verse 5. In Hebron, he reigned over Yehuda 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, he reigned 30 and 3 years over all Israel and Yehuda. Verse 6. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem and to the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land, which spake unto Dawid, saying, Except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come hither, thinking Dawid cannot come in thither. Nevertheless, Dawid took the stronghold of Zion. The same is the city of Dawid. And Dawid said on that day, Whosoever getteth up to the gutter and smiteth the Jebusites and the lame and the blind that are hated of Dawid's soul, he shall be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, The blind and the lame shall not come into the house. So Dawid dwelt in the fort and called it the city of Dawid. And Dawid built round about from Millo and inward. And Dawid went on and grew great, and Yahweh power of hosts was with him. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to Dawid, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built Dawid a house. And Dawid perceived that Yahweh had established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. And Dawid took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron. And there were yet sons and daughters born to Dawid.
Mm, Slack you.
All right. Verse 7. Yeah,
I
we
think
missed
I
those
lost the
names.
place.
Yeah.
I lost the place there.
We're ready for 14.
Okay, yeah, it jumped. Okay, here we go.
And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon,
Oh,
Ibhar,
slack you. Oh, let's go ahead and look at those before we go
Khan.
too far ahead. We've seen Jerusalem already, haven't we?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, con. Shemurah,
Shammua.
Shamua, renowned.
That's remember they Remember that whale, that killer whale down in Florida?
Shamu. Yeah.
Shamu. That's where they got this name from.
Wow. Wow. Uh,
Shobab.
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 Shobab. Yeah. So Shobab. Yeah. Rebellious. Oh my goodness. Who named their child rebellious? Why would you do that? I'm not naming my son rebellious. That's not good. Let's see what Nathan means. Nathan.
Nathan.
Giver.
That's my brother's name.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. His name means giver. That's a beautiful name. All right. So we know what Solomon means.
Shalomo.
Shalom. Peace. All right. Let's go to verse 5.
Verse 15. Ibhar also, and Elushia, Elishua, and Nepheg, and Yaphia.
All right.
Yibhar.
Ibar.
Yibhar.
Uh, Yahuwah's chosen. It's a pretty good name. I didn't know that. Uh,
Elishua. Elishua.
Yeshua. My power is wealth, or power is salvation. Hmm. And
Nepheg.
the fake sprout. That my power is wealth is like that's kind of mm, I could have a different meaning in this day and time.
Khan.
Yeah. Yefeya.
Yaphia.
Shining. Are you shining? Yefeya, you shining. All right.
All right. Verse 16. And Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphelet. Eli. Elishama.
Elishama. Yeah, that's it. My power has heard.
Eliada.
Eliada. You in it. Most High knows.
Mm-hmm.
And
Eliphelet.
Eliphalet. Kind. Most High is deliverance. Eliphalet. Those are all good names. It was the king's sons. It makes sense to
Yeah,
be good
Khan.
names. So, except for that one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
War with the Philistines, verse 17. But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed Dawid king over Israel, all the Philistines came up to seek Dawid, and Dawid heard of it and went down to the hold. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim, and Dawid inquired of Yahweh, saying, Shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into my hand? And Yahweh said unto Dawid, Go up, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hand. And Dawid came to Be Perazim, and David smote them there, and said, Yahweh hath broken forth upon mine enemies before me, as the breach of waters. Therefore he called the name of the place Be Perazim.
Now, ironically, I thought that the king would be interested in coming to see. I thought that would be like, oh, David was my servant. Now he's the king there.
Right.
Oh, well, let me go shake his hand. He was with me for a time.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he'd be cool with like, no, they came trying to overthrow some stuff. Uh, masters of the breaks, masters of the breaks. Hmm, that's strange. I really thought that when it first said that, I said, "Oh, the Philistines coming to congratulate." That's what I kind of thought in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they was coming for battle.
Come.
But I love how he acquires of Yahuwah every time something comes up. He inquires first, and then he gets his answer, and then he goes.
Indeed.
Yeah,
That's
and
a message, should be a message to us all, man.
hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely should be learning from that.
Hmm. All right, verse 21. And there they left their image, and Dawid and his men burned them.
Mm.
And the Philistines came up yet again and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And when Dawid inquired of Yahweh, he said, Thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them and come upon them over against the mulberry trees.
Okay, Salakia. Um, see what this compass is that he's saying. Fetch a compass. We think a compass is a thing to navigate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Sabah. Surely that's not what he's talking about, but maybe it is.
Encircle them.
Turnabout. You said it, where you said that?
Encircle is one of those definitions down there.
Oh, oh, encircle them. Okay, so yeah, so surround them to be surrounded.
Hmm.
Okay, so that makes sense. Because I was thinking about that device, but I was like, surely that's not what Yahuwah is telling them here. But yeah, that makes sense to surround them. So
All right. Verse 24. And let it be when thou hearest the sound of going in the tops of the mulberry trees, then thou shalt bestir thyself, for then shall Yahweh go out before you to smite the host of the Philistines. And Dawid did so as Yahweh had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Gibeah until thou come to Gaza.
so they went in
Hallelujah.
and yeah, they went in and took care of the Philistines as they should have, rather than fighting amongst themselves. They got enemies there that are there for their destruction. So we absolutely should be fighting the Philistines and not amongst our own selves, amongst our own tribes, amongst our own brethren, our own people, our own nation. That's what the other nations are for. They have evil intention to us. We should not be spreading evil amongst ourselves
Come.
because we got people that are going to have evil intention. Where the Philistines at now? Who knows? You know, who knows who the Philistines are in the earth right at the moment? So, uh, interesting enough. But I'll go ahead and into final thoughts here. Um, First to the Abba for last night, us completing another book, First Samuel, and getting into this second book of Samuel, understanding what happened with Shaul and his passing, and also seeing the human side of Dawood and his David and his mourning for those who have gone before him. Uh, he was very, he made him, he was such a likable person because we see clearly, what kind of a heart he has. And it's just amazing how wonderful he was. And when you think about, his line ruling in in the kingdom um, through Hamashiach, and him having that same type of heart, uh, him being made king over Yehuda, that first thing, him dealing with um, Shaul's son, the war they had, the small war that they had, dealing with that, and how he made it a point not to kill him. Like, he's not giving me any problems, so I'm not going to deal with it like that. Um, and how he just increased and continued. How he embraced Abner, when Abner came to him. And I thought it was ironic that he wanted his wife, that woman he was espoused to, back. And he went and took her. You know, he brought her. That's really what Abner was coming to do. He was coming to bring her to him, and he did what he said he would do. So Dawid accepted it, but Joab,
He was feeling
Joab
some
was
type of way.
something.
I guess I get that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know he probably didn't have the full story. when it as it pertains to uh, that situation with his brother being being put down. But if he would have known, would he have still felt the same way? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't mean to kill your brother. Your brother, you know, I was trying to push him back with the dull with the handle part of my spear.
Hmm.
I didn't even spear him, you know, so it wasn't even like that. But uh, Joab being who he was, I don't know if that would even made a difference, truthfully. So, but yeah, when we got into them killing the last son of Shaul, and then King Dawood with the unification of the nation, and then nothing nothing establishes rulership like your enemies coming at you for war, and that's exactly what the Philistines did when they came. Uh, you know that really established the rulership of Dawid, with him being able to handle them, and which was already established. I mean, he'd already handled them before. So, um, but Khan, that was a lot of good information, a lot of good learning, a lot of good lessons in this bit of reading here. So,
Indeed.
yeah.
You know, land backing off of your last statement, so so glad that these this history was recorded,
Hmm.
for our learning. We definitely want to strive to do better and be more pleasing than our ancestors were at different times at different points.
Hmm.
Um, also have to be mindful of what's being recorded now. Uh, I think about it. Our oppressors are pretty much given the narrative of what we are right now.
Right.
Um, I praise the Abba that you and I have an opportunity to get into these scriptures and hear our history.
Hmm.
We need our own historians telling our narrative
Hmm.
on our plight, being in captivity due to disobedience and returning to the Abba. This
Okay.
might be a mission for some of our brothers or sisters out there.
Hmm. Khan, yeah. And we discussed earlier. I think before we went live, uh, about how I think that's something that's missing, is that we don't record as as we should. We should be documenting pretty much everything, but we're leaving it in the hands of somebody else. We should be documenting day in and day out, what we're experiencing, what happened today. You know, the weather, I mean, everything should be documented. You know, because in generations, when we're not here, and they want to know who was Hazaki Yahu, who was Kenaniah, you know, they should be able to read it. It's like we're reading here. Who was Dawid? We get in the first and second Samuel, and we're seeing exactly who Dawid is. We see what kind of a man he was, and how he operated as you know, and how he was able to unify the kingdom. Uh, I was just saying, he's such a likable person. How do we know this? Because we're reading what was written about him, and it is very favorable. I mean, he's very likable. He's easy to get along with. He's not, you know, bloodthirsty. He likes women, but nothing wrong with that. Better women than men. But
God. God.
but I think I just stepped in it. But now I don't care about them. But but yeah. So we definitely should be documenting, and not just us brothers, but all of Israel should be writing uh, daily. I've heard people talk about journaling, and that's not something that I've gotten into. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, man, I really need to. I really need to, because when the time comes, when I know so little about my heritage, my history through my father's father and his father before him and his father before him because there's nothing there. There's no documentation, So daily journal would be wonderful, and that would be something to really pass forward. So
Indeed.
yes, indeed. Said anything? You got anything else on final thoughts?
Nah, that's it. All
Okay.
praises to the Abba for
Hallelujah.
yet another wonderful learning experience.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely a Barakai was these five took a bit longer. We had a little bit to look up on this one. We had about 1 and 3/4 of an hour here, so almost 2 hours. But yeah, definitely a Barakai getting into this these texts again and really going through it and getting some understanding. So with that, I am your Akazaki Yahoo and give all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power Yahuwah, Bahashem Yahushua Hamashiach, joined by my most esteemed Ak Kenanaya, I pointed the wrong way. And uh, we also cannot wait till the Most High brings us back again. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Did I say the Most High? Yeah, I missed that. Let me start that over because I don't want to mess up. Uh, Again, I am your Akazaki Yahoo, joined by my most esteemed Akinanaya. We give all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the 4 quarters of the earth. I say Shalom, Waparukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Until that day, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom, family.